Hey, how's it going, YouTube? This is a quick video, hopefully, on my new patch bay that I got in. I'm fixing to test it, and I just want to talk about patch bays real quick and show you how I test this thing. So this particular patch bay, it's a Neutrik, has these diagrams on the top, which kind of help things pretty nicely. The way this works is that here on the rear, we've got an A and a B. Generally speaking, we use the top A for the outputs of something, and the B is the inputs. And what that means is, for example, like my synthesizers and drum machines, they have outputs. All those outputs are going to go to the A input across the top here. And the B is the outputs. That's going to be where my mixer hooks in. So I'll have a snake connecting all the B's to the various inputs on different mixers, for example. And then what this allows me to do is this allows me to break the connection if I need to, or just grab a connection. So for example, like across the top here, I could grab like whatever is coming out of 2, and then I could take that over to somewhere else like 4 or 5. And by taking it down to the bottom on 4 and 5, that's going to the the input of another mixer track, for example. So this allows me to take something to like if I have something going on one mixer and I want to take it to another mixer, for example, so I can have different effects or EQ effects added to it, I can now do that very easily without having to mess around with the top. So you have a number of different options. You can also use a split option or an isolated option. And in order to do that, you have to take this open, and then these are all individual cards, which is really cool actually. There's like 4 jacks hooked up to a PCB card, and that's like probably about like, $4 a piece. So you do the math. This is far too expensive for me to build on my own. But what I'm going to do for this particular one is probably at least half of these are going to be configured to be isolated, and then that way I can use a whole rack for 2 devices instead of just 1 device. But I don't want to get into that right now, so don't worry about that too much. So I'm going to just go into testing this real quick, and I'm going to start with the first one. I'm not going to do all of this, of course, on camera, but I'm just going to show you how I test the first one, and then I've got to go through painstakingly through all 24 of these. And it will take a while, but it's definitely worth it. It's a whole lot easier to figure out if there's something wrong now than actually installing this thing and having everything patched into it, and then have to remove everything just to figure out what went wrong. So this is my little cable tester. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And right now this cable is plugged into the A, so this will be my output from a synthesizer. And already hooked in here, this cable is coming from the B, from the input, going into, we'll say, the mixer. So right now nothing is patched in. So if I take this particular one and I patch it into, as we see here at the top, I should get a signal. And we do. Now right now I'm using TS cables, and these are TRS jacks. So we're going to see the way this works is the tip is pin 2, and then the sleeve is pin 1, and the ring is pin 3. So pins 3 and 1 are going to be tied together. That's not a problem. And then pin 2 will be isolated by itself. So what's next is to I guess what I'll do next is just plug in the top one here. And this is like a normal connection, as if nothing has been patched into it. So now I've got a copy of the signal if I need it. And then final test is that if I unplug this one and then I plug it into the bottom, that it will break the connection. And it does. And then a final test is just to make sure that I've got that signal on this one. So remove that connection and then plug it in, and then we're good to go. Okay, well, if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks. Bye-bye.